my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
Help!
Here,
Oh,
take my hand.
ah!
Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me!
Take it. Take my hand.
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Welcome. Whoa, don't have my lights on. That's all right. That's all right. I normally have co-host tonight, but Rob is sick. Pour one out for Rob. Where is it? VB Rob in the chat. Unwell. He does this every now and then. I don't know if he's sick. I think he gets grumpy. Camel Moon said he'd be here, but then he might have fallen asleep. A bit dark tonight. Yeah, I don't know. The green just felt a little overpowering tonight. And plus, I tell you what, I thought I'm going to be trying something different. I'm going to be trying actually drawing tonight. So, well, sketching. I'm going to be trying sketching. So, I was like, actually, tonight's a good night for it because this used to be such a quiet night for streaming. That's why we decided to do it, because no one else ever streamed at this time. And then Malin started streaming, and even Ethan sometimes, and now Shane and Reenie, but I think they all ended, so that's not good. Which means more people are going to come in here and see me fail. Actually, I invited Skip Edwards too. He said he might pop in. I don't know. Camel might come in. Skip Edwards might come in. Other than that, I'll hang out with you guys. Modest crowd in here. Shit, we've already got 40 people in here to see me fail. Oh my God, this is going to be good. This is going to be something. This here is, do you recognize the format? I'm going to ask Camel when he jumps in. He's just plugging his things together. While I am waiting for Camel, he's in. Camel, give me the thumbs up when you're good to go. There he is.
Hey. Okay. What's up? I'm sorry, I fell asleep.
Yeah, I figured that was it. I didn't respond to your thing hours after because I was busy working. Thank you, John. Calling out Bancroft, you got a member chat. Thank you so much. You have a 4-month member chat from Maromi. He says, ahoy, Reenie Raid. Hail, Reenie. Hail, John.
Yeah.
Hail, Shane.
Well, I'm just in time.
I think Will Red was also live as well.
Yeah, it was a busy night.
But they all, like, the seas parted and they all ended. And now people are actually here. I thought we'd have like 10 people watching. I thought that would be good because I'm going to actually try some sketching tonight and it could all go awry because I'm going to try something new, concept art sort of style. So yeah, this could just be, I remember I did like a thumbnail thing, which I don't normally do back in the day. And it was just pages of rubbish, but let's say hello to the chat. I know. Yeah, totally. Let's say hello to the chat. We got Jolly Green in the house. How you going, buddy? J Max is here. Lord Ravener. We've got Jaro. We got Bretsky, Atherline, Hail, Jeremy Burtz, Keen Scene. My favorite scary movie. Isn't that so good? That one. Take my small hand. Is that the one that starts with that really good actor? He's very conservative, so he's kind of blacklisted from Hollywood, and he's like, he's the priest from The Exorcist, and it's just a close up of him, and he's like, "Oh, help me to release this demon," and he's on the toilet, and he does this massive crap.
I don't know
So
what
good.
you're
I
talking
think it's that
about.
one. Scary movie.
Oh, scary movie. Oh yeah, no, scary movie.
All right.
I don't know the name of the actor. That's what I mean.
Someone in the chat will know. Someone in the chat. James Woods. Thank you, Maromi. Scat Scary Movie 2. Thank you. When without the chat, I would just be
lost.
Yeah. Hello, Hyper Wizard. Hello, D. Hail D, the legendary D. Did I say Jeremy Burtz? I went off on a tangent there. I apologize. Sucks in the house. Run with scissors. Hello, Schneely. Hello, darling. And many others. Holy crap, we have 70 people watching me just have a massive brain fart. That's awesome. Good morning, David Feed. David was calling out my German last week, which was terrible, and I didn't see, so I apologize for my horrible German. I swear I used to actually be pretty good at it, but not anymore. Mark Burton Shaw is the fella who did the extension to make you have no tips, and apparently it works on a lot of other things because a lot of browsers use the Chrome system. I don't know any of them. Brave, Edge, I don't know. Do you need some graphic design work, Camel?
No, I do my own graphic
Someone
design.
on Twitch is in our thing saying, "Hey, I do graphic design work. If you need a logo, there's his Twitter, Jordan Soul GFX." We're turning into one of those shows now. I invited, because we don't have Rob tonight, I invited Skip. I don't know if he'll turn up.
Oh, really?
But, what, you don't like Skip?
Skip Edwards?
Skip Edwards.
Oh, bro. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
We got Val.
It's fine.
Val asked what happened to Camel Knights. Well, like many Camel Knights, he gets struck down.
Oh, yeah. I've had people ask
lightning
all week. What happened with that? So as soon as we ended it, I got 3 copyright claims. One of them was from CNN. One of them was from the song playing during it, which was the Gnarls Barkley song. And then the other one was from the Jon Stewart, whatever. I don't know. It was for the Jon Stewart clip. And all of them were like, I
thought that Jon Stewart clip. I thought that Jon Stewart clip was pushing it because, that was like,
because we barely hit pause, right? We almost watched it all the way through. I even think there was another one. There might have even been another one. It might have been for that comedian at the end. I don't remember. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it down. I don't want to have to worry about it. And especially now with the campaign going, the last thing I want to do is worry about getting a strike on the channel. So I was like, I'm sorry, everybody.
Jasper
watch it live.
In the chat. Watch it live. Then we had a lot of people there, like over 300. It was amazing. Val Schnitzel says, let's put everything that is struck on alternative sites like Rumble and BitChute. Well, speak of the devil. We are simulcast. This is the first draw stream I've done simulcast. And there's actually 4 people over there watching. So hail you Rumblers. If you prefer to watch on Rumble, there's the link. Go over there and hang out and do a Rumble rant. If you're into that sort of thing. I am. I like watching. I watch Salty Cracker on Rumble. I enjoy it.
I had someone ask me today. They were like, well, can you re-edit it and put it on Rumble? I'm like, not for you. I mean, maybe eventually, but I was like, I did 70 Hail Salad packages today. So it's like, I have other priorities.
Yeah, I feel you. Look, it's, and plus it's a live show.
Yeah. I think a lot of people just get used to watching it later, but I'm sorry, unfortunately.
I feel you. You know what I did today? I'm trying to be productive. People might recognize this as a print Actually, these are all prints. These were all prints on the Waking Dream campaign. They were big A4 prints. I've found a trading card printer here in Australia, up in Queensland. I want to go local. I'm sick and tired of dealing with Les Chinois and other people around the world. Unhinged sense, I never watch Bancross streams later. I wouldn't either, man. if the chat isn't there, I'm not into it anymore. It's so rare. I think the only person I will ever watch a replay on is probably Shant, because I so enjoy hearing him opine. But yeah, I found a trading card printer here in Australia, which I didn't think I'd be able to find, because it's time I get into the fray. I get into the mix and start offering trading cards. We talked a little bit about this recently, what my plans are. I'm going to be teaching you all some history through the medium of trading cards. Mike wants to say, "Are you?" Is that how he says it? He doesn't say, "Let's get ready to rumble." I think you get struck for saying that, actually. So I probably shouldn't do that.
Are you serious?
I think you do. Yeah. No, you don't get struck, but like, you're not allowed.
No, I mean, I know that he like bought the copyright or something. It was like, how did you? What?
No, you won't get struck. Pum Spack. We should check out his campaign, actually. I don't know. Did you like his campaign?
Pum Spack.
We might get the We might get the.
I've heard of it.
All right, I'll show it to you later. I think you might like it.
I hope I like it
know.
now that it's live and you're going to show me live.
I think no, it's okay if you don't.
Okay.
It's a little bit unusual, but let's check it out. Pork Hunt for 5 says, speaking of exorcism, did you hear about the one conducted by the devil where he asked the priest to leave the child's body? What are you on about, Pork? Oh, it's a joke. Oh. I took that completely seriously. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh.
Wait, hold on. Maybe we can decipher this. Do you think we can figure it out?
No. It's I get it, Pork, now. That it's like, oh, I'm an idiot. I'm reading it thinking, what? Like, what's he talking about? And there's no. He's like, did you hear about the yeah. I'm an idiot. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, nonetheless. It's one of those priest jokes. It's a good joke, Emma. You're right. It is a good joke. I'm just an idiot. All right. I'm gonna pull out Pork's Pum Spack's campaign because I think it's pretty cool. But I'm gonna let you guys be the judge. It's different, but then again, Camel's a little different too. So, all right. I don't think he's got much attention on it yet. I don't think he has a big social media platform, but he's fully funded and everything. So, there's that. Unemployed Monsters presents. 3 friends just want to make music and have fun. Why would bad guys have a problem with that? First impressions, Camel.
Oh yeah, it's its style. I think that looks quite good.
Yeah, I really like it. I know it's like some people they're more like, no, I just wanted something more of a house comic book style, but
no. I mean, especially if you read my stuff, I'm not house at all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I think it's really good. It's it says with artists from Rick and Morty and Bob's Burgers are included in this. 56 pages, saddle stitch, high quality, full color comic book. And yeah, I mean, it's in this cartoon style. I dig it. I think it's awesome. The book is 100% complete, just needs to be printed. And
is it how much has it made?
Oh, it hasn't made much. It's got like 16 backers.
Oh.
Just under $1,000.
That's weird to me. It has artists from these major productions.
Why is
it
weird?
pulled in 1,500 Australian. Oh no, wait. I guess that's Australian year-end, yeah. And
1,000,
and
not even 1,000 American.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, I've heard of it. but people do reach out to me. We've got Reenie in the house. How you going, Reenie?
Reenie.
I'd heard of it, but yeah, people do reach out to me. Well, I mean, it's just yet another case of how much marketing matters.
Yeah, you
how much
really need a
having
network.
that audience. You really do. I mean, without that, yeah, I think this is really cool, and it's going to print great. I can tell these colors are going to print immaculately. I know that. I have that skill. So yeah, check it out. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really know Pumpsback. I don't really know his deal. He's from LA.
Is he going to come on your show?
I don't know. I haven't seen him. I'm always reticent to bring guys on the show, especially because it's an hour long.
Yeah.
Like, you know how John will do those Comicsgate Presents things?
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be 6 guys. And if someone's a bit of they can't really hold a conversation, it's fine because it's
its
5
own
or 10
skill.
minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Some people have it. Some people don't have it. Some people can develop it. But it's like, if you haven't practiced before, when I first started going on streams years ago, way before CG, yeah, I would kind of freeze a little bit, like I would have jokes in my head planned. And you can't do that. That's bad.
No.
It's like,
no,
you got to be a little like, off.
It's not like sitting on Letterman where he gives you a setup.
Yeah. And I think people imagine, right? They're like, oh, and then he'll throw it back to me. And no, it doesn't work like that. You better be on your fucking toes, bro.
Yeah.
So
Pum says he doesn't bite. Have you been on any other shows, Pum, that I can check out? I mean, all I want to know is your camera is decent. Your mic sounds decent. Like, you get a guy, imagine you get a new guy on and he comes in onto the show and it's just like, and you're like, oh my God, it's going to be an hour.
That's true. You need decent equipment. At this day and age, I feel like even my wife has decent equipment, but
yeah. And then as well, holding a conversation. That's all I ask. But you're definitely qualified for me in spades in terms of quality. And I like promoting different kinds of books. So I want to learn more about this. I want to learn more about you. And
you see this comment from Junk 666 here?
I remember when Camel tried an opening monologue on Camel Nights. We all
no one does
to forget that.
That is lost to the annals of history. What a fucking disaster.
That was hard to get through, I'll tell you that.
That was an immediate delete. I was like, I'm just editing that out. That never happened. It's such trash.
Are you working on anything we can look at tonight, or is that no?
It's for the mid campaign, and you know what it is, but I can't show it.
I do. It's all on me. It's all on me.
Yeah.
Butterbear
but
says,
it looks
don't
great.
forget about the oh good. It's probably going to be like super duper complicated. That's what I reckon.
I'll try to make
anyway.
Yeah.
We're not going to
as hard as I
speak
can.
anymore on that. Oh, Snipticon says he was on Red Valkyrie. I may have even asked Palm that. I'm forgetting, because I do ask people that when they sort of reach out to me. I got to go check it out. Snipticon, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just lost in conversation.
There's a lot of people here. This isn't the Snipticon show.
83 people in here. I don't know why. And it's pressure, because I'm going to start sketching in a second, and I'm not a good sketcher by any stretch of the imagination at all.
I can sketch. At least that'll be something. I can at least have fun with you for an hour. Let me build a new
I guess I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? Here's my idea. Now I'm going to present something. Snuckson says, I am the damn show. Snuck, you have become actually really a very active and valuable member of the chat. I will give you that. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this like that. Okay, so this is trading card size. Because I'm going to be sketching I'm just going to be doing some very, very rough layouts for it's really like conceptualization stuff for these trading cards. Because I've got these ideas and I don't know what they're going to look like. But I guess we're going to find out together. I mean, I don't know. Is this worth a show? I guess we're going to see. So I won't be able to pull up anyone's chats, but I will be occasionally looking, and Camel and I will be talking.
I put my page.
Oh,
so yeah, I'll draw something. Whatever, it's fine.
do you want to draw? Do you want to get the chat to tell you something to draw, or do you want to draw what you want to draw? How do you want to do it?
Well, let's see what the chat has to say. If I don't like it, I'll draw what I want to draw. I'm not beholden to anyone.
I'm not ranking members of the chat, Sumo. Yeah, if anyone has an idea for what they want Camel to draw, shoot it in there. And yeah, you can. Comic Books in Kahoot says, make it rough, gay out, and you're in business. What? Pet says, draw Malin.
Like a wolf.
Draw the wolf milk. We got Genuine Comics in the house. Can Camel draw Malin's D-Man? Why do you all ask for penises? Like, this is the first thing. That was actually one of my biggest draw streams ever, was when I drew a dick. That's true.
Ted Danson, of course. Everyone's favorite. Ted Danson.
Jay
You
Lee
know
says,
what?
Michael,
I
check
think
your
I've
Twitter.
decided. I'll come up with something. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, chat. Asked and answered. Moving on.
Asked and answered. But moving on. They're not bad ideas. Just, I'm not in the mood. That's the problem. I'm not in the mood. It's my problem. My fault.
So yeah, I have. I'm gonna stop my screen. I have. While Camel does that, I'm gonna share this. So these are ideas. Essentially, what I'm gonna do with the trading cards on the campaign is there are gonna be 1 or 2 trading cards, depending on stretch goals, probably, that everyone will be getting for free, and then there'll also be others that'll be sold in a pack. Say, like, I don't know, $5 or something, where you'll be able to get the full set. And they're all going to be examples of historical things that appear in the Lucent, Waking Dream, and Painted Death that are either real mythological things, historical places, or I don't know, whatever they might be. I've got a list here of things that appeared. And I'm just going to essentially try. I've been spending all week trying to I've been watching people who do concept art and stuff like that. I'm going to try and just try my hand at it. I don't know. I might fail spectacularly, but we'll see how I go. Maybe people will want the Gilgamesh card or the Enkidu card. I don't know. And on the back, it'll have a description of what that thing is, historically. So, like, who was Gilgamesh historically? And then there'll also be a brief description of how he fits into the Lucent.
Ooh, history cards, my favorite.
I know. Yeah, history, exactly. Well, well, I mean, there's some cool things on here, like the catacombs, Scorpion Man. I can make these as cool as I want, but I think, like, if I made the art really cool, they would be pretty cool. But I think it's like because I could never figure out a way to do trading cards that fit in with my book. It's like, oh, look, there's Arthur. He's an old man drinking his tea. It's like, that's not a trading card. Antoine says, Gilgamesh, a historical figure. I thought he was a myth. No, I mean, like, it's hard to say, like, a real myth. It's a myth. It's a myth that exists in the real world that I took and used for my own story.
Yeah. You could be like,
says,
I'm
look, glad
it's the Claude Monet card, Toulouse-Lautrec.
I'm glad Bancroft finally learned how to pronounce catacombs.
Yeah,
I know your American pronunciations do rub off on me. I'll give you that. All right, I'm going to switch to Camel for a second. Oh, look, he's drawing Batman. What a surprise! I'm going to turn off my camera because I'm starting to sweat here thinking about doing this, and I need to take off my hoodie. Uh-oh. We have a new drawer joining us here tonight. Skip.
What's up, guys? Hi, Camel.
Hey, you
How
sound
are you?
great. You sound fine. Why are you
Yeah,
worried?
I was like messing with it, and I had to stop my computer and like reconfigure the audio devices. That's why I'm late. Sorry.
Oh
But-
no, don't be sorry. We've been procrastinating for 25 minutes. I've been procrastinating because I'm not a good sketcher, so I don't want to like show people how bad I am. And I feel like I'm going to be sketching tonight. And if you are drawing and you want to share whatever you're drawing, just pop it up and I'll get it on there.
Yeah.
Do you want to you are drawing a sleight of hand?
Yeah, I'm working on that tonight. Let me turn off the camera for a second. I gotta find my stylus. I dropped it when I reset the computer.
Let me actually pull up sleight of hand, and I'll pull up boots and heels as well.
Yeah, we hit 20K on that.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that was quite great.
Yeah.
I'd like to make an announcement because, this is not an accusation by any means, and I'll say it again on the game show. We've had a couple of people buy the lunchbox tier and return it multiple times. And I don't know if it's like I'm out of money this week or I don't think it's shenanigans, because the guys who have done it have other stuff that they've bought that they haven't returned. But it's like the problem is that you have to try to maintain a status. And so if we're fluctuating by $400 or $500, then that becomes problematic. On top of the fact that I'm also now paying credit card fees every time this happens. So I would just say, if you can't afford it, that's fine. Just wait till you can. But buying it multiple times and returning it multiple times, that's like, it's difficult on the campaign itself, because for argument's sake, if we were at 20,300 and change, and then that gets returned, well, that stretch goal's been met. So, like, I'm not going to take the stretch goal down, but if we fell below 20K and then someone gets there and it's like, oh, they've unlocked it, it doesn't even make sense. So I would just say, if it's difficult for you, it's okay to relax. I know that maybe you use a lot of pressure. We're like, hey, we're trying to get to this number tonight. But don't worry. Don't put yourself out unless you can.
I didn't give into any of this pressure.
Yeah.
I haven't backed it yet. I told you why.
Sure. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Because I don't have the money.
Yeah,
I'm getting paid soon.
that's understandable, So
I'm getting paid soon.
Do you think it could be like brand new backers, like from your channel, since it's not just comic books now?
Well, one of them, again, I'm not doxing anyone, and
yeah,
if they're watching, they know who they are. One of them backed Hail Salad big, so I know that for him, it's just got to be an issue of funds. The other guy, I haven't seen before, but I know that they watch the show regularly because they backed multiple times at different times. And again, it's just like, it's cool, just, but the dude bought it and then like literally 12 hours later refunded it. And he did it twice like that. And I was like, yeah, that's not the best way to do it. So.
Yeah, I don't know what the credit card fees are, but
somebody refunded the golf cart on you too.
They're not going to get that sticker now, assholes.
How are you going to fit in Florida?
Yeah.
Sorry, the sticker is not incoming.
I'm going to send it used.
Yeah, if it happens, if it does happen, but if it starts happening multiple times, you start going, oh, what's going on there? I want to just before I get started on my shame.
If anything, I'd blame the Australians. They're probably trying to get your dollar to fluctuate like theirs.
It's that's what it is. It's currency manipulation. Camel Moon's boots and heels. This is what I was talking about. 165.
Talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, days. 165 backers trucking along. Lots of great stuff. I mean, we've talked about this dozens and dozens of times.
But if somebody does back tonight, that would be great, because then we'll definitely be clear into the 20Ks, because there's a lot of graphics and posts I want to make, but now I'm hesitant to do it because I'm like, I don't want to like have another refund or something that puts me back below it.
Hopefully, it's just a little blip, on the road to success. And if you're not familiar, this is Skip Edwards here. He's doing a comic called A Sleight of Hand, which is it's a magic book, I believe, isn't it, Skip?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
it's
magicians, and is there actual magic in it, or is it?
Yeah,
staged?
the whole thing is it's basically like magicians playing a game like with life or death stakes. So
Nice. And Skip is the writer and artist on it. He's not sharing anything yet, but hopefully eventually he'll get it set up. And I'll put the link in the chat here for you guys if you want to go sign up. You get a secret perk and an exclusive print if you go on to back it.
do you
have any?
I hired a Comicsgate artist to do the print. So next month, hopefully, I'll be getting that. And I'm still waiting to get the cover, the variant cover from Andrew Robinson. I was hoping to show it to you guys this weekend, but I haven't heard back from him this week. So probably
That's
busy
that cover you shared with me. I saw the sketch of it.
Yeah, like the thumbnail.
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, my thumbnail won't look anything like that.
I don't even know why I try.
I know. Bancroft says, Mo, you know very well there is magic in all of Skip's art. We sometimes Mel and I watch Skip on TV.
Yeah, I've been streaming just about every morning. I think it's probably the middle of the night for you guys now because it's about
late. Yeah,
it's 11 or 12 a.m. when I start them up. But I've been doing a lot more. So.
All right. Oh God, do I have to do this? All right. Yes, I suppose I do. All right. So I think I'm going to start off with the Olam sketch, I guess, because it's just rocky mountains and stuff. I'll see how I go. You know, I hate not being able to see the friggin' actual stream thing. Here we go. That's better. So what else has been going on, Skip?
Just working on the book. I started streaming an hour a day again, kind of trying to keep up with you now and just get more comfortable with it. I'm using a Restream though, and everything, all of the settings are different, are named something slightly different than StreamYard. So, and
StreamYard
then
did that too.
Oh yeah, Shelby was complaining about StreamYard, like a lot of stuff kind of glitching on him lately too. So I don't know what's going on.
I think they're doing updates or something. I don't know.
But with Restream, like you have to schedule a stream on a calendar, and if you just hit the go live, assuming that it's the last one that you set up, it doesn't. It actually like reactivates the last stream you did, that title, and so you just start a new stream with the old title. It's really weird because I've like tweeted out after I set up streams and then like go somewhere where there's nobody, and I'll have like several people waiting at a stream I didn't fire up. So it's just got some bugs to work out. But Matt Fowler's here. What's up, man?
Hey, Matty. He says, "What's poppin', motherfuckers?"
And then it looks like next year's kind of going to be the year of the Comicsgate zines. Like Comics Away has one now, and they're coming out with the next rocket. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on the zines initially, but I think I am now. I was just because I was thinking, well, what's the point? We've got YouTube and everything, but I remember Wizard. Just listening to the guys talk about it, and everyone who got it really seems to like it. I think I am. I think I'm a convert now.
Yeah, I don't have I haven't seen the pages of either of them, but I buy a lot of there was a magazine called Comic Book Artist, and Wizard had it too, but they would have a huge sketchbook section where it would just be everybody's sketches, like whether it be fan art or progress stuff. But that was my favorite part in any of those magazines. So hopefully they do something like that. So we'll see.
Anyway, they had a really good response from it, so that was encouraging. I think they're like halfway funded on the rocket one. So
Oh, great.
I'm trying to draw a camel here, an actual camel, not a Camel Moon. Oh, it's sketch a camel. I don't know. I don't actually know what they look like, but that's fine. I mean, vague shape.
It looks like Mortal V's singing something to you in the chat.
Mortal V, is Mortal V Ethan's number one? What is it called?
Yeah, he got him 13
Reference
referrals.
Referrer.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought that was like, I thought I'd done more than that, and then I went in there and it was one, which I find really hard to believe that I've, out of all these years, I've only gotten Ethan one backer. That was embarrassing, but I guess it is what it is. Mortal V, I don't remember the time when we fell in love. Sorry. I'm
feels
sure
like yesterday,
great.
though.
Fowler says CG Jumpstart was promising. Not so sure about Rocket. The talent levels were higher. The Huerta cover was next level. Yeah, but did CG Jumpstart ever happen? I can't remember if it actually happened. I remember it being around for a long time, like as a thing that people wanted to do, but
I think
a lot
it
of people
came
were
out
working
and
on
they
it.
took all the
Did it
CG
come
guys
out?
out. Yeah, I
Oh.
thought so. Maybe I'm wrong.
Mo says, I don't know how many thousands of referrals I would have racked up because I don't have an Indiegogo account. Really? Can you back on Indiegogo without an Indiegogo account? I didn't know you could do that.
I think you can do something with it, because up until the last book I backed, it never showed like the backer amount of anything I did. Like, you actually have to opt to share that information. So
yeah,
you might be able to just like use your payment information and that's it. But yeah, I was looking for a tracking number or something for something I had backed, and I was like, whoa, it doesn't even show. Like, I backed X amount of books, but nobody even knows. So,
oh, hold up. D has just gifted 5 memberships. Hal D, you absolute legend. Did you see that, Camel?
Hold on, let me look.
5 new members. Ron Martin.
Well, we're waiting.
I ate Upsy. 1 Wicked Evo, Tommy Cooper, and Shane Harrigan, all new members. Antoine says, I don't think the CG guys were removed. I think they were in the back on a list in black. Is that real? Is that true? I can't remember. I don't remember what happened
A
there.
blacklist? No, I don't think that's.
it could be. I don't even remember the book coming out.
No, neither do I.
But maybe people didn't want to touch the subject. I don't know.
Things were tense back then. Hence, I say. This whole time I was drawing on the wrong layer, like a noob. That's all right. I am a noob.
So, Bancroft, I sent you a link about a story I wanted you to talk about. I should have sent it to Camel Moon, huh?
No,
that
don't
Star
send me
Trek
anything.
one.
Don't send me anything.
Star Trek.
Yeah, it's about a person that their channel got changed to 18 and over only.
I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
So there's a Star Trek channel. It's got like 250,000 subscribers, Camel Moon, and it was a trans person that was that hosts the channel, and they're complaining that YouTube's harassing them and wants them to lose their viewership because they made an age restriction on it because of a video called a strap-on dildo started my transgender reveal. But she's saying that she's being harassed by it.
Well,
that'll probably do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very. It's funny. I get a lot of suggestions. I probably get about 20 like emails, whatever, a week. Hey, check this out. Check this out. I almost never use any of them, and I think people have this idea of like what we do on Camel Nights. And everyone's wrong. I mean that in the nicest way possible. There's a flow, and believe it or not, there's always kind of an arc. Everything has to fit in together, and it's almost like writing a comedian his jokes. It's like, well, I know where the joke needs to fit, and so if I have other stories, if the story doesn't lend itself, or I personally don't have anything to say about it, then it's hard for me to be like, yeah, I think people can imagine the crew talking about certain things, but sometimes I can't. I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I have nothing, So if you guys ever send me anything and I don't use it, don't be offended. It's just like this is just how I do the show.
Or send it in a super chat.
It's definitely not something I would ever do a video on. That's for sure. When I do videos, it's got to be something entertainment, hopefully comic book related. And yeah, something like that. I'm not like, I mean, I have opinions, but I don't know if I would ever talk on that stuff.
Jamie Max says, "Don't be offended. Camel just hates you."
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just I don't have time for you. Look, Ivory Tower is very high. The fact that you were able to get a carrier pigeon that high up is remarkable. Regardless, you don't expect me to feed the thing. It's like I got another shit to do. So.
That would be great if people just started DMing you, and the first reply you give is, "How do you have access to DMing me? They're not closed to you." Just kind of play up the character on Twitter.
Well, that is actually low key true though, because I do get people. No, because if I don't follow you on Twitter and you don't follow me or whatever, it's like, would you like to accept a message from Nasty Buns? I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Let's see.
Probably not.
Well, maybe. That's what I'm saying. We'll see. Maybe I do.
Is there a way to preview the message without accepting it?
I don't think so.
Hard to
No,
get
I think you can look at it. I think you can look at it, but if it's media, you got to click on hide media. But then you can just ignore. I think if you need to.
KSS says Skip thinks Camel is doing a character. Cute.
It is a character on Camel Knight's a character on the game show. No, that's real rage with Rob. I can't fucking deal. I'm like, oh boy, bro, just stop.
FKA says Camel Knights is not a democracy. Trevor Wright points out it is hard to get a message into the Ivory Tower. Yeah,
correct. These are all accurate assessments.
Yeah.
Here, I'll share what I'm working on right now. It's gonna do a save for a minute. So now it's present to share screen.
Yeah. What's your Batman doing, Camel?
I thought I'd do something a little different. He's going to be standing on a roof looking at the city. I haven't seen that one yet.
Is there going to be a gargoyle?
That's a great idea. Yeah, gargoyle. All right, we'll put a gargoyle.
Yeah. Get it in
there. Maybe he could be brooding.
Well, I think I've got that. I got the brooding down, So I'll lay everything in and then I'll start my
brood him up. I've never seen anything like it before. I'm interested. I just want to see what it looks like. I can't even envision it. All right. So while you're working on that, what's Skip doing?
Actually, let me do this.
Who's this Lemony Snicket's character here?
This is one of the magicians. He kind of ran away from the others, and he's a children's performer now. But something in the story, plot stuff, comes and kind of brings back the old magic and the dueling to him. So he's trying to put out a fire with his coat. So that's what we're working on tonight.
I've done that, but
Put out a fire with your coat?
Well, instead of a coat, it was a tea towel. Do you guys have tea towels? Because you don't drink tea, so I don't know if you have tea towels.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Don't know what that is. What's Australians who are Americans who know what a tea towel is? Do you have anything equivalent? I'm gonna Google that. What do Americans call a tea towel? A dish towel. There you go.
Oh, yeah, we have,
A cloth
Gross.
used for drying kitchen objects such as dishes and cups.
Dish towels are the
Not a
grossest thing in
coom
the
rag, Snark the Cop. Yeah. I was probably about, how old would I have been? I don't know. Early teens, 11, 10, something like that. And I'm hearing this. I'm watching TV. I'm sitting on the floor. The TV's up in front of me. I am hearing this yelling. And I thought, oh, that's my brother and his friend out in the backyard. Like, he's probably got a super soaker or something. You know, he's doing something like that. There's a bit of screaming. And I'm getting annoyed because I'm watching TV. So I'm like, shut up. You know? And it just keeps going. And I was like, so I was about to get up to yell at them because I couldn't. There was a window there out into the backyard, but I was sitting on the floor, so I couldn't see. All I could see was sort of, you know, the top of the trees. And so I'm about to get up, and I think, hang on. My brother isn't even here. He said he went out to the supermarket like 20 minutes ago. So I'm thinking, oh, crap, there's some weirdo running around screaming in my backyard. So I jump up, and there's a kid running around the backyard engulfed in flames.
What?
And yeah, like in a movie. You know, like when people have those like fireproof suits on. And they run around like, oh, it's very real life accurate. And I'm just like, you know, shit. I run out into the backyard, and what can you do? It was my brother and his friend. They would have been, 8, 7, something like that. And I can like get down on the ground, roll around. So he's on the ground, on the lawn, rolling. Nothing's happening. I mean, he's still on fire. So I run back in the house. I grab the only thing I could find, which was a tea towel. Now, Emma says no, a tea towel is usually a certain type of fabric. Thin. Dish towels have texture, almost like a bath towel. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this was probably a thin cotton tea towel. Not big, like, you know, this big. Might have been linen. I don't know. But I run back out, and I just like jump on top of this kid, and I'm trying to, you know, put him out. And it was absolutely horrifying. I mean, you know, even now it's one of the most horrifying things I've had to go through. I mean, this poor kid, obviously. He was in one of those suits until the age of 18, if you can believe it. Just awful. It's like a suit that you have to wear when you're a burn victim.
Oh,
it's just to sort of, because he's constantly growing. He was a kid, so has to, like, you know, grow, and yeah, it was a whole big thing. There was like it was a big story in our neighborhood at the day.
Why'd you catch the kid on fire?
What's that?
Why'd you catch the kid on fire?
It wasn't me, I swear. And actually, the newspapers ended up blaming my brother for it, which was that was my first taste of thinking.
Why'd you tell him your brother did it?
That was my first taste. I was very young, where I was like,
oh, they're liars.
What? Yeah, like the newspapers aren't telling the truth. Mo says Bancroft was in such a panic he grabbed his butcher's knife instead of the tea towel. His brother stopped him in time to say, "Hey, slow down there, Stavin McGee." The name stuck. Was his name Anakin? No, it wasn't Anakin. Yeah, well, what happened was the friend had come over and told my younger brother, if you get a hairspray and a lighter and you do you know, like that, you can do a flamethrower. And of course, when you're doing that, what's the best outfit to wear while you're doing that? Is a head to toe like nylon,
like a pajama
suit. Like nylon, like the kind of stuff that that Shane wears, you know, like Adidas stuff, that really thin fake fabric,
like
stuff.
Windbreaker material.
Windbreaker material, exactly. And so he's spraying it and it's not working. Why is it not working? Because the hairspray liquid is running down the can onto him, onto his arm, onto his legs. So he's just basically, it's like, shh, and nothing's happening because no gas is coming out because all this liquid is running down his nylon tracksuit. Sorry, I just read that from Maddie Fowler. Yeah, I don't know whatever this stuff is. I don't know, whatever this material is. And eventually it does. And of course, as well, they're doing it on the side of the house so they can't get caught, right next to the outside gas heater, which was, you know, not a good idea either. So yeah, when it does finally ignite, he's up in flames. And my brother tried to pat him out with his bare hands, and he actually almost ended up losing one of his hands. He had tennis ball sized blisters on his hand. Ooh. And you know, it was all done. The ambulances come over. There were like 4 or 5 ambulances, 3 fire trucks, all in this suburban street. Fowler says Human Torch cosplay not recommended. And it was I went into shock. So once we got him in the house, and I don't want to go into the gory details, but Henry Bemis is right, an absolute horror show, like full on. I'm sure I have repressed memories and all sorts of shit from it. But what I do remember is absolutely horrific. But I went into shock. And obviously I'd never been in shock before. I haven't been in shock many times since. But I'd already arranged to go over to my friend's house, who lived just down the road. So the ambulances were on their way. Fire trucks on their way. The kid is inside in his state that he's in. My older brother was there as well. He wasn't there for the whole incident, but he was in his bedroom or something. He came out. And I'm just like, all right, well, this is all sorted. I'm going to go over to my friend's house to play or whatever. So I just leave, walk down the street, just in a complete, like my brain had turned off. And I went to his house and I got up there and he hands me a icy pole or a Zupa Duper. I don't know if you guys have them, what you call them, like a popsicle thing.
Otter Pop?
And what's that?
Otter Pop, where it's just like a plastic bag with frozen juice in it?
Exactly, that you freeze and yeah. And I'm sitting there and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, nothing. And I was really weird. And I was eating it. I remember this verbatim. I said, this super duper smells like burnt flesh or something like that.
I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, when's it going to get to what it smelled like? Because that's pretty distinct.
And he goes, what? And I said, oh yeah. So I just, I know, right? He's like, what? So I tell him what happened briefly. And he's sitting there just, white faced, ashen. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "It's all right. The ambulances are on their way." Anyway, his mother was a nurse too. And she was there. And he just like grabs me. He sees that I'm completely out of it. He grabs me, we run downstairs, we grab his mum, we run back over there. And and the ambulances came afterwards eventually. But dude, absolutely horrific situation. Moral of the story is stop, drop, and roll will not put you out. You need some sort of covering material, even if it is a thin, small tea towel, it will work. And we had that tea towel for years, like all the way up until I was still living there. There was a tea towel with these burnt singe holes in it.
Oh yeah, time to move on. Time to be like, that goes in the
yeah, I know, right? We didn't chuck anything out. Hoarders, basically. But yeah, absolutely horrific. And the newspaper wrote, first of all, that my brother was the one who put him out. So I got, jibbed of my hero status. And obviously I didn't really care about that.
At least they didn't say that you were the one who started it, though,
Well, that's what they said. They said my younger brother, they literally wrote the whatever he was, 6-year-old resident of the house, set him on fire in the newspaper. Yeah. So they had to do a retraction and all that sort of stuff.
No one reads the retractions. No one cares.
I know.
Yeah. The story's
so,
over.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But sleight of hand, everyone. Make sure you sign that.
That's not the pitch for my book. No kids die in my book. That's yours.
That is true. That does happen. Hot off the presses, says Manny Fowler. Snarticon says, "Congrats, Bancroft. You officially have surpassed Shane as the king of depressing stories." Wow. And the kid lived. And as far as I know, went on to lead a fruitful life. But he was in one of those suits for as long as I remember. I think he was to about the age of 18.
I can't think of the suit you're talking about, though. I've never I've seen people that are burned,
medical suit thing.
So I'm thinking like a full-on body cast or something, but that wouldn't be it.
No. It was it's like a fabric kind of thing that he had to wear forever. Well,
forever.
Until he was 18. Well, until he was 18. I mean, when you're 8 years old, that's forever.
Yeah, so like when it's all scar tissue, if he was still growing, like all of that would like split and tear again, right? Like is that why he had to wear it, or?
I guess so. I guess, yeah. I don't really.
That's crazy.
Mo says Skip is just trying to tell a simple story about the first openly straight magician.
Yeah, he doesn't say "ta-da" at all in the book.
He doesn't? Were you inspired by Phil Dunphy from Modern Family at all? Modern Family is a big TV show in our house. Victoria loves that thing. I liked it back in the day, but
it's funny that she likes it. I mean, what about it is interesting for kids?
Kids like stuff.
Okay.
Like that's the thing. Like that's what these people don't get. Who think that kids want to watch just kids doing kids things? No, they want to
make flame
grown-up stuff,
spray paint.
Well, hopefully not. Snarticon says, "Did he ever get any skin grafts?" I mean, imagine he would have. He had third degree burns over a large portion of his body. So I don't know how we're going to top that story. But
yeah. What's the worst thing you ever did to a kid when you were little, Camel Moon?
Not tonight, guys. Not tonight. It's crazy. I once went to Australia and I lit a kid on fire.
Oh, no.
And then I told him, "Don't refund my lunchbox."
Yeah. I was like, "This is what you get for refunding a lunchbox, asshole." What's the worst thing? Well, I've told the wheelchair story, where like I was in a wheelchair. I was rolling around in one and another kid saw me and it was like in the hospital. And he was like, "Oh, a fellow wheelchairer." And he started rolling over to me and I just got up and walked away. Yeah. That might be the worst.
Oh, that's awful.
I'm sure there's other terrible things I've done, but that one always kind of comes to mind. I remember once I once said to a teacher, I saw her right after I graduated high school, and I saw her in like the bank, and she came up to me and she goes, "Hey, how are you?" And literally the first words out of my mouth were, "I don't remember you. Bye." And I wasn't trying to be mean. I just couldn't remember her name. And I was like, wow, that was the biggest dick thing I've ever done. She was just trying to be nice. Yeah. So
I get that from time to time where I can't remember people's names.
I couldn't remember anything.
And
yeah.
It's just like it'll come and it's just like my brain is stuck. There was a girl I went to school with for 4 or 5 years, and I was playing volleyball in in sports class. And I called out to her to pass the ball, and I just forgot her name. It just was gone out of my mind. I can remember it now. It's Katarina or something. But
clearly you can't remember.
Something, yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
Kat was her name, but I couldn't remember it. It was gone. And I remember there was I have a terrible story from when I was about 18, 19. I used to stack shelves at the Big W, which is, I guess it's sort of like a smaller Walmart. And I was in the stacking. I remember this clearly. I was stacking baby formula. No, not baby formula, baby food in little jars. And there was another guy working with me who, it was his first day, and he was on the opposite side of the aisle, but I could see him. I could see his face.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we were chatting, and he just seemed really familiar and friendly. And I said, and we somehow figured out that we went to the same high school. I'd already graduated. And I was like, "Oh, really? Yeah. What year are you in?" He was like, "Dude, we were in the same year." And I was like, "Oh my God, no, how terrible." I've just completely forgotten that I was, because in a year in my high school, we're talking probably about 150 kids or something. I don't know. I was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot." And he's like, "Oh, you must have been in this class or something like that." And he was like, "We were in the same English class for 5 years."
I sat right behind you, bro.
Yes. Yes. And this was a year out of high school. And I looked at him and I was just like, "Oh, okay." And I just went back to doing my baby food. I was like, "I don't remember you, man." I must have had a wild year when I was 18. Just like forgetting entire people out of my life. I think he was pretty upset with me. But I did the same thing when we did a reunion. You go to your like 5-year reunion, and these guys are coming to me and saying, "Hey, Mike," and I'm like, "Hey, you."
What's up, bro?
I didn't remember them, and they got some of them got angry with me. It's like, "How can you not remember me?" I'm like,
sorry. My wife made me watch this movie once with Joel Edgerton. You know him?
Yeah, he's an Aussie.
Yeah. And the premise is, and not Kevin Bates, not Norman Bates. What's his name? The guy who was in Ozark.
The guy from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman?
Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
And I guess the premise is that like Jason Bateman like bullied this kid, and he forgot that it was Joel, and they like meet in like a department store, and then Joel becomes obsessed with his family, and then you find out that Jason Bateman like diddled him in a car and like repressed the memory, and they all got arrested. And God, it was the worst fucking movie I've ever seen. It was so,
I can't stand that shit.
it was so cringy and boring. And then when you start finding out, like when it starts unraveling, I'm like, why am I watching that? I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
fucking...
I'm trying to. For me, I'm like trying to hang out with Mel at the end of a work day. I'm not looking to delve into society's degenerate
right.
misery
Yeah.
in movie form.
Babes, never show me this shit again.
Sumo says, sure, it was a movie.
Yeah.
Acquired brain injury, Bancroft. I was doing a lot of skating, and yeah, I had a concussion at some point, so possibly. Sumo says, I don't find any of this shocking at all, Bancroft. I've been pretty good lately, although I did call Olivia the other night on a stream. I said, goodbye, Olivia. And then I remembered, oh no, that's a girl's name. That's not Ollie. Yeah, I like shows like I want to watch this new Black Adam thing because it sounds dumb and pointless. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want to watch at night. People were thinking I was crazy because I was like, I don't even hate Rings of Power. I mean, I understand, I recognize why it's like terrible writing and all that kind of stuff. I've listened to Critical Drinker and who else? Well, there's loads of people who've been critiquing it. I'm like, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying. I don't care. I'm sitting at the end of the day, relaxing, drawing, and I just want something in front of me that does things and doesn't depress me. Is that too much to ask? Matthew says Black Adam was fun. The kids loved it. Yeah, I gotta watch Shazam though. I never watched Shazam, so I don't really know what any of this is about.
Shazam's a fun movie. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, there's unfortunately none of the.
I wonder if anyone in the chat knows. Do you need to have seen Shazam? Like, is there like any type of connective tissue with that and Black Adam?
Well, I was told that he was like the original Shazam from 5,000 years ago or something. I don't know if you need to see it, but
yeah, I don't know.
Sumo Thori, thank you. I remember you, Sumo. I know your name. He's just gifted another 5 memberships. So many legends in the chat, just helping this whole thing chug along. You guys rock. And welcome, Itchy Nads. Do you guys call balls nads over there? Is that a
nads? So, you can. You don't hear that often though.
Itchy nads. Oh, got itchy nads. Spike in madness. Eric's a member again. Frackoff. Frackoff, did you get your Twitter suspended? Did I read that right? I saw someone saying that earlier. And Mr. Mean Mr. Mustard. Also. Henry says, I'm glad Itchy Nad's got a membership based on the name alone. Me too.
Right.
Of course, it's short for gonads, right? Yeah. Nads are balls.
I remember when I
says Chilla said it was back. Cool.
I remember when I was younger, they mentioned him in like Friends or something. And I was watching it with my family, and I asked my mom, and I was like, what are gonads? She goes, you have 2 of them. I was like, oh, okay, I know what those are. And then so the next day, I was in science class, and I thought they were ears. So so I was like, oh, I don't know how it came up, but I started saying like, like depending on how big your gonads are, you can hear better.
It's not true. Well, I've done a sketch. It looks like that. I don't know if it means anything to anyone, but the point of what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to like visualize what I want to do. And to start a concept sketch from. So I know if I don't actually get something visual down, I won't ever start. Because it's something new and scary. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to start a new one. I'm going to group that and call that the Olam. And start a new one. Which one will I start? Ooh, the 7 Sages. All right, I got to go look up some reference for that. I'm going to go back to Batman, I think. I'll look up that.
Nice.
Pork says, is this in the Pyrenees? I'm not familiar with the Pyrenees. I'm familiar with the word. I don't know where that is.
You're talking to me or you're not talking to me?
Pyrenees. Pyrenees is a mountain range straddling the border of France and Spain. No, it's not there. Think more Middle Eastern. Let me actually search that. Ancient. So Mesopotamia, Levant, Arabian Peninsula, Horn of Africa. That sort of area. Think that. Pyrenees? No. Mortal V says Bancroft thinks the Seven Sages are those mofos from the Zelda series. There might be. I don't know. They pop up a lot in popular culture. There might be.
So here, Emma Louise says, since there are lab-grown brain cells now, it could be possible to Frankenstein attach a mini brain to some gonads to create a new bionic species. That'd be 100% testosterone if you think about it.
Let's not do that, please.
Okay. What's the second time you burned a kid?
No, I don't think I did it for a second time. Thankfully. No second burnings. What's that? What is that? You know, in Lord of the Rings, they have those two dudes, those massive monolithic structures, the kings sort of standing with their hands out. Does anyone in the chat know what that's called?
Are they homeless? Is that where their hands are out? Or?
No, they're like massive statues.
I don't know, but Antoine and Mo both had really good retorts for what I said. Antoine says, Skip, that's nuts. And then Mo Big said, it sounds like Rob, except for the brain cells and testosterone. That's good stuff.
I don't know why you guys always make fun of Rob.
I thought that was a compliment. He didn't make fun of his hair at all.
As your father says, Bancroft, they're called the really big statues. Thank you so much. How's your
Nailed
father?
Tolkien's
I'm very happy.
toiling over the typewriter. I guess I don't know if he did it by hand, but you know. Really big statues. That's a good one. I'll just go with
Thank
that.
you.
I've made up names for everything else, but for this.
They're called the Argonath. Thank you, Moromi. They're two giant kings. I think they mark the entrance to Gondor. Here, Mortal V has it. Let me pull this up. I think there's some real fans in the chat here. The Argonath, also known as the Gates of Argonath or Pillars of Kings, was a great monument of Gondor. Thank you. Not the Easter Island things. Hyperwizard says, I think I might have offended Rob by calling his box design boring. I don't think. Did he see it? Did he comment on it?
Have feelings now.
Yeah, I think we've beaten that out of him.
Whenever you think, oh, I think this is going to hurt Rob's feelings. Nah. No. Wrong answer.
Because I was thinking, he looks like he's riding a dragon.
Well, it's a gargoyle, but yeah.
I mean, if it was riding a dragon, the cape would be flapping a bit more. But yeah. he's riding a stone gargoyle. I wonder what he's pondering.
When you offend Rob, you'll know it. He's very weepy.
He does get like that.
I've been studying the.
Are you laughing at Antoine's?
Oh.
Hell's Deep was originally called Balls Deep. I don't think that's true, Antoine.
I was laughing at Serious Cat's comment.
Pretty sure that's true.
He says, I think the Taliban blew up those statues in the 90s. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I want to have the 7 sages, depending on which exact 7 sages you're talking about, because they do appear throughout history quite a bit. I want them like sort of traveling on a boat through a big, what is it? Like what is it? Like a fjord? What is that? A ravine? I don't know, something like that. And I thought it probably looks a little bit like what they did in Lord of the Rings, I imagine. I want to do these really big epic scale things, like the concept artists I watch on YouTube.
Some of those guys, their work's just crazy. Like the time lapse drawings.
So good. Yeah.
Like Eric Canetti, he's probably the friendliest one, but so you can actually ask him questions. But the other guys that are into the game design and stuff, it's insane.
I'm probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, like with this thing, say I go from that, and then I'm gonna just sort of do rough paint-ins, and then I'm gonna start doing what I've been seeing is like where you photo bash textures in, and stuff like that. Some of the effects are really good. Like there's this one guy who, yeah, somehow he makes it work so well. I freaking love it. But we'll see. We'll see how it go. I don't know. I don't know what the style is going to look like yet because I haven't tried it yet. So it's all a bit mystery. Not the 7 Sages of Greece, Pork, but I don't know if there's a relation. I'm talking about the 7 Sages of Sumeria. So like the guys who traveled the area, and they each have a city that they kind of founded or that responsible for or something like that, and they were the bringers of knowledge and all that sort of stuff.
Ooh, Awesome One has a good suggestion. Fraga Bancroft Drawing Challenge.
Oh.
That's a great
Craig
idea.
will have this like whole character drawn out, and I'll be like, oh look, I did some lines here. That's his whole thing. Like drawing like really quick stuff.
I mean, that's they teach you that in college too. It's like it's just the gesture drawing and how to get it out.
Yeah, and he is like he's done
storyboard, so he can
storyboard, which is that's all about, like being quick, just being flowing and epic and all that sort of stuff. It's not really something I've done before. But yeah. All right.
Fraga is a beast at random drawing challenges. One of them ended up being the basis for Tetragrammaton. I don't know what that's about.
Soma says, if you time-lapsed Bancroft's concept drawings, you'd have a good half a minute of video. D says the 7 sages are the archetypes for most of the gods. Bingo. Pork says, the Apkalu. I never actually said that word out loud. Yes, he was the first, I think, of the 7 sages. Hebrew text suggests that they were the watchers from the Book of Enoch, killed thousands in Egypt. They're briefly mentioned in Waking Dream. Where are they? Where's that book? That Waking Dream book? I can't remember. I don't know. He says Isham, the fiery character, mentions the first 7. I think he does anyway. If he doesn't in the book, then he does in the unedited edition, that's for sure. But yeah, that's the point. You know, I just want to like give a little bit of context to what I'm thinking here. I'm obsessed with all this stuff. There's so much to learn and remember. It's not always easy. It's fun. It's good shit. Yes. Now you're starting to sound like Rob. Is it though? That's the sort of thing.
Let's not say things we can't take back. All right. Okay. My limit only goes so high. All right.
Antoine says, "Whose drawing are we looking at?" Come on, Antoine. You know the answer to that. I've just been trying to like watch different techniques that these concept artists do to sort of pick up, you know, how they do what they do. I mean, they can whack out a full proper illustration like this in a matter of hours. I won't be able to do that, but I'm hoping that if, you know, I can get these things down to about 4 or 5 hours or something, that'll be, and that line, it looks cool, that'll be a lot better than what it would if I try to do the kind of comic book, let's ink it, flat it, color it sort of thing, which takes me forever, as you know. Camel says, no, Anton says, at first I thought that was a leg with lingerie.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Where's the leg? Here, this one, this thing.
No. So highlight it again.
Oh yes, right. Okay, yeah.
Thigh and the calf.
Yeah.
That is like an anemic lady. You eat a sandwich.
Kind of looks like the beginning of their time lapses, though. Like,
yeah. There's lots of different ways that I've seen them do it. Some of them will do a line sketch. Some of them will draw with the like the lasso tool. I don't know what works best for me because I've never done it before. So I'm just sort of playing around and seeing what kind of works best for me. I don't know. But the whole point of it is, at this stage, you don't want to do anything in any way detailed, because it's all going to change. You just kind of, I want to have a selection of sketches that I can use to think, all right, is this where I want to go with this? And sort of start building out something mentally in my mind. Because at the moment, I don't really have that at all. But yeah, try new things. I hear that's how you get better. And I don't know, is there anyone else in CG who's got like concept art trading cards? You know,
well, I'm going to be doing those like classic cover trading cards.
Well, that's what inspired me.
Oh, another idea stolen from Camel. I see.
Well, I thought, yeah, that's like, that's because it's a really cool idea for trading cards. Actually, do you have them to show? You want me to show them? Yeah. I think that's like,
it's funny. And actually, as it turns out, well, hold on. Do you want to see the trading card version, or do you want to see the art I'm going to be using?
Whatever you want to show.
All right, let me show the art then, because the art is a little bit cleaner.
Because I looked at that and I thought that's a really cool idea for a set of trading cards. And I'd always sort of poo-pooed trading cards because I just couldn't figure out how they would work for my story.
I think they can work as long as you have a reason for the season. Like, just make sure that it's not just a bunch of pinups. I mean, you can, but like if you want to be more thematic, for me, that works better at least. So,
well, I think the bunch of pinups works great if you've got a superhero team or something like what Rob has. He's got all these characters. He's really into character design, so actually they have a unique look and all that sort of stuff. But if you don't have that, it's sort of. Thank you, Schneerly. Exactly. I don't steal ideas; I perfect them. Exactly.
How come you glazed over? You glazed over everyone that was comparing your drawing to a leg and the leg lamp from Christmas Story.
What?
Yeah, you're drawing a giant leg.
There's no leg. Anyway, it's gonna go. Maybe it is a giant leg. Maybe it's like the Argonauth, and it's a giant leg lady.
Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds
statue.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Jordan Horse says an 80-year-old leg. KSS says Bancroft is drawing the leg lamp from A Christmas Story.
There's a leg lamp from The Christmas Story. Yes, Anton is right. And concept art focus on shape and value, like an old crotchety leg. D says a bit of the Old Testament came from Sumerian writings. Yep. All this stuff predates the Bible. Val says Jews are Akkadian in origin, so it makes sense that their myths will converge.
Awesome One says,
see, there's so many people. There's so many people in this chat who know this stuff, and I'm gonna give it to them.
Do you remember how big of a deal it was when we started calling the one drawing the ginger root hand? Something could be happening right now, and you're trying to glaze over it. Like you need to prove to everyone it's not.
I need to lean into the old lady leg.
Yeah, lean into the meme. Emma Louie, the leg lamp is a classic. Everybody must have a leg lamp idol to worship.
I have
Free
it
delay, Henry Bemis.
How do I not remember this? Liam says, I don't understand. Why would you do concept art trading cards? I would understand a section in the back of the book, but why trading cards? Well, I've always wanted to do them. I've turned to really liking them. I previously didn't really understand their appeal, but now I really do. So it's just something cool that I want to do, and I just never really had the idea of how to do them. And I think if I continue doing them as the series continues, as I keep revealing more and more links back to actual mythology and history and stuff, I can add more cards, and then eventually I could do a sort of a kind of behind the lore sort of book of this stuff. I don't know. That's just I'm just sort of going with this as we go, and I'm also looking at ways to add cool little items that people can add to the campaign, because I didn't really have them on the first campaign. I didn't really do add-ons. Are you going to have little write-ups on the back? Yes. So there's going to be a write-up about, say, for this one here that we're looking at. Well, we can't really see it because I'm covering it up. So just say a card like this would be the 7 Sages. It would have a little write-up on who the 7 Sages actually are in Sumerian history, how they fit into that religion. And then underneath that, it would say in the Lucent and how they fit into the Lucent story. So you do get a little bit, it's like a little bit more of, well, what does all this stuff mean? That he's just like dropping all these names, and if you don't know what they are, then it means nothing to you, but it actually does mean something. Pretty much everything in the story does. All right, sorry, Camel.
No, that's fine.
I'm ready now.
Sure. Where is it? So yeah, I was gonna make, these are like some old covers that I had. I'm gonna move them so people can see. Okay, there you go. And hide my desktop, the clutter. And so these were like retro covers, and I was like, well, I do with them. And then someone, maybe you said like maybe they should be trading cards. And I happen to have 9 Boots and Heels trading cards and 9 Claude Agent trading cards. So I could do one set this round and then another set, for the next campaign. And yeah, they were fun. And I tried to do them all a slightly different style. And the idea was to give this idea that like this is a very, long-lived universe of heroes.
Yeah, it's like, imagine if this was that comic that had this big run, and they're all in different styles. And I said that when I saw them, it reminds me it's the closest thing I can think of to the Garbage Pal card set, because it's like you get there's a different reference in each one, and in this one it's a different style. So here you've got like a sword and sorcery book. I'm like, what if Boots and Heels went back to that sort of time?
Yeah, so there's
I
a
really
lot of
dig
them.
them.
And there's probably 8 or 10 that aren't even here, and a lot of them are going to be the cards. These are more Claude Agent based, but there's definitely a lot of Boots and Heels ones. So yeah, I'll probably put those out at the 30-day mark. Also, Joel from Indiegogo is alive. Apparently, took him a week to get back to me, and I had asked him. I was like, because initially I had set the campaign to be at 60, and then Malin was telling Literature Devil about why it should be 30 and 30, and I was like, yeah, that makes more sense, especially considering how what we have planned for the 30-day. Because like I'm going to release the trailer. We're going to do new merch. We're going to have the art contest is going to start. And so it's like, yeah, all of those things I should roll into almost like a second launch. So I think that it would be worth it to officially end at 30 and then kind of start fresh the next day.
Yeah, I remember you telling me you thought it was all a bit of a dog and pony show, but it really doesn't have to be. I stopped doing the, hey, let's pretend like this thing is closing out almost straight away. I think I did.
I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, just don't lie about it. Yeah,
just say we're extending, and this is it's sort of like everything we do in life goes on a cycle. The day, the week, the month, the year. So it's like, all right, we did the first 30. Now it's time to do the next 30. On top of that, you do notice Indiegogo does sort of cycle you back up to the top of the trending. And I think it's definitely worthwhile.
My wife was like, does it matter? And I said, you know what? I think it does, because there's definitely times too where like, I don't remember always whose campaign launched when. And if I go there and I see like they have 4 days left, do I know they have another 30 coming? Maybe, maybe not. But it might incentivize me to back and get like, hey, I don't know if I should get this, so I'll get it now. And sometimes on the second 30, that tier gets taken down. So it's definitely worth it, just so that people know like, okay, things are going to cycle through at some point. So look, I was wrong about that. I was wrong about the stretch goals. Let's all forget about it. I have no problem.
What do these people know who have, raised hundreds of thousands of dollars on their campaigns? Why do you think they know anything?
Now, when someone comes and says, hey, I'm not going to do stretch goals, you do 30 and 30, I could be like, well, let me tell you why you're wrong from experience.
Schnilly says, is Bancroft drawing the clashing rocks from the Odyssey? No, not specifically, but it's definitely, ancient. It's just concept art. It's just like ancient feeling, old setting with an old boat, and there'll be a good, like someone said it earlier, add in some Jaro. I like this idea of set of locations as cards that expand the lore and add to the lucent without bogging the main book down with exposition. That's the thing. It's like, until now, I'm just saying, well, I mean, go Google it, I guess, if you want to know what the Olam means. It's not a good answer. It's not like I'm going to really dive into it in the story. Everyone's going to sit down and we're going to have a big discussion in the story about what the word means and stuff like that. D says, so the cards will be in round 2 for Boots and Heels, Camel?
Yeah, so at the 30-day mark, We're going to release the cards. And we're going to release 2 other products. I don't want to say what they are just yet, but no, they are not just variants. They're not variants. They're actual products. So, and Eric Huffles is making me some little figurines. I don't know if we'll have them done by then. Yeah, they look really cool.
I love them.
And what's his name? 6 a.m. made me a sticker, so I might pair them together. I haven't quite decided yet. I have to run the numbers, see what costs what, and what people would be interested in putting together as a little package. But yeah, there'll be lots of new stuff. It'll be all very cool.
Yep. Val, yes, I do. I do mean the olam in Hebrew. Hang on. There was a comment here that was a good segue. Nathan Paul says there were way more viewers when this was a silent stream. Well, we've got 93 people watching on YouTube, but a very respectable 13 watching over on Rumble. I see you there, Texas Mofo, and Nolark Toss. I'll call you Noel. How about that? And they're talking about the chat over in there on Rumble. I mean, I hope they can get the chat sorted out over there. It really isn't as good as on YouTube, but it's still good to build up these alt tech stuff. Mo's got to head off. How, Mo? I will see you tomorrow.
See you, Mo.
D says, okay, so if I wanted to add the carts, can I add it to the cards? Can I add it to what I've pledged already, just so I avoid more shipping costs? I don't know how Camel's going to do it, but I tell you how a guy like Justin Murphy has done it on his War Party campaign to phenomenal success. And it's something that I will probably be doing I'll definitely be doing on my campaign, is when I add stuff afterwards, I will put it up as an add-on or a perk for new people who haven't backed before. And then I'll also add it as a secret perk for existing backers. And the secret perk will have that perk with free shipping on it. So they can just add it to their campaign.
How do you set it up for only existing backers? You just send them a link?
Well, you just set up a secret perk.
Okay.
And then you send a link out. You just set up an email on MailChimp. You send up an email to just the people who've backed. And I said to Murph, aren't there... don't like people... like share it out or something like that. Like he says, it barely ever happens, and if it does, you just like have it written in the thing, like this is for pre-existing backers. So if someone does back it and they haven't backed before, so they're essentially trying to get the item with free shipping and haven't backed anything else, you can just shoot them an email and say, that this perk isn't for that, and you can make that explicit in the thing as they're backing it too.
That's a good idea. I didn't think of that.
And then you can just say, well, if they don't want to do that, then you can refund them, and that's fine. But he says it's exceedingly small number, and that's a way to kind of circumvent the limitations of the Indiegogo platform.
Yeah, I have a feeling too that, especially with the trading cards, there's gonna be a lot of people who want them that have already backed, or that want to get them in addition. So I'll probably make them an add-on as well, because it's not going to cost a lot to ship them. And if it's an add-on for shipping, if it's an add-on perk, then I won't charge shipping for it, no matter what. Because how much? The trading cards are tiny, so.
Yeah, let me show you guys War Party on Indiegogo. Professor Murph isn't the most famous guy in CG. Doesn't have the most talked about book, but he has been, for 2 years now, he has been steadily selling War Party and War Party items constantly. Ooh. He's up to 1,982 backers, $72,000 raised. And when you think about it, the main book series is just $25. So this is what I'm saying. Like, this guy, what he does is he adds on new things constantly. So he's added on extra books. So a 0 issue. He's added on I think it's called a war diary. He's added on extra covers. He added on figures, stuff like that, all sorts of stuff, and that's how he does it. He adds them as secret perks. He adds them onto the campaign for new backers, but then he puts them as secret perks, sends it out to all his pre-existing backers. He has so many people coming back second, third, fourth, fifth times. And plus it's a really good book. So series. I just got issue 4. I haven't read it yet, but yeah, if you like to look at that, there it is. There's a link. War Party. And he's a great guy as well. Yeah. Also, sign up for Sleight of Hand. That is what Skip is working on. What are you drinking there, Skip?
Oh, blurry can, grape nos.
Blurry. What is that? Is that an alcoholic
Energy
drink
drink.
or energy
No, I
drink?
I don't do alcohol very often.
Mm-hmm. And Boots and Heels is funding right now. Go get it. Jump on it.
Oh, can we show some of the new art? Because I put 8 new pages up.
Oh, yeah. We can indeed. I think they're down here, yeah?
Yeah, because I was like, I want to really give people an idea of what is in the book. And I think that they're good pages. I think they all look good together, too. So this is kind of nice.
Here's some Boots and Heels. What issues are these from?
This is all actually from the first issue. It's because the issues below, the ones that are in black and white, are from later issues. That's why they're not colored yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have some colored stuff, but it's from the Claude Agent, which I won't launch till next year. So I don't really want to put that up because it's not really accurate.
Oh, he kicked off his head. I didn't see that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fighting for the super gay crystal. I like to see that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a Camel Moon book without something super gay in it. So.
Yeah, the rainbow crystal. What are they flying on here? What's their mode of transportation? What would you call that?
It's called the fishbowl.
Space disc?
Oh, yeah. So there's a page before it where they cut a hole in the ground and they're writing like the floor out of the spaceship.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I just didn't put that in there. But yeah, the name of the spaceship is the fishbowl.
That's this thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Very psychedelic.
Oh yeah, it's fun
like
making that.
That's
stuff.
your signature. That's your trademark thing now. The psychedelics. I started on House Salad, by the way. But
oh yeah,
I start reading these things when I go to bed. I'm passing out, and then I get to bed and I get a slight little revamp for some reason as soon as I get into bed. And I started reading it, and I was like fighting, but it was really fun. I think I got about 10 pages in. Looks great.
So you're saying Hell Salad put you to sleep? Thank you.
No, I always I'm explaining why I couldn't get through.
It's okay.
How long is it? How many pages? Like 40. I couldn't get through a 40-page comic in one sitting.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like 10:30, but I will get back onto it. Yeah, it is a lot of fun, or I can already tell.
And I'm excited because I beat you to putting Ella on a campaign page before.
Oh, what here? This?
Yeah.
In costume. I know she does have the fractured mind look going on.
Nice.
That's all right. That's good.
I just really like the color palette, and I'm able to do stuff that I haven't really seen, like with the psychedelic rainbow stuff. Like they couldn't print that back then, so it's like I'm able to mix like a modern day look with a classic style, and that to me, I think that's the most appealing thing.
Yeah, it's dope. That's a cool page. Check that out.
That's the first page of the book. Is first page. You open it up, Earth explodes.
Earth 2020. It ended with a bang. That sucks.
Yeah.
Looks nice though. And there's that. What's this guy's name again?
That's Robust.
Robust.
He's Magneto and Dr. Doom on their worst day. He's the main baddie of all 12 issues. Don't fuck with him. And the first time you meet him, he evaporates the president.
Nice.
Of course. Take
Yeah,
me to your
I
leader.
love
He
this
says
shot
it
here.
looks very cool, and Perth says Hal Salad is a knockout.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
And also
I just
one
like
says
the shot
thank
of
you for redeeming the rainbows. Oh, sorry.
all
I
of
keep
the
cutting you.
jets getting like thrown away.
What does Zod say when the president says there's one man who'll never kneel before you? Superman.
Doesn't
Who
he
is
say
this?
bring him to me?
He says like, "Who is this fool?" or something like that. It was
Oh
a
yeah. That's
baller
Superman.
line. I love it.
Superman.
What does he say? It's a great line. Boots and heels, everyone. Do go jump on it. What's Skip up to? Skip, how did you land on your unique style that you've got going?
I just getting feedback. Like, I don't know how you guys do it, but I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like, and I can't pull that off still. So, like, I'll just kind of pulling things together from
Totally.
the way other people do it. So,
Yeah.
it's kind of
It's
amalgamation.
It's funny. I remember when I was younger, the reason why I thought I could be a comic book artist because I had a dream that I had drawn a piece that was like McFarlane in the early 90s or Jim Lee quality. And it definitely wasn't something I'd ever seen before. I wasn't just dreaming of a piece of art that I'd seen before. It was an original art piece in my dream, and it was so good. And I woke up, I was so hyped. I was like, wow, that exists in my mind. I have the imagination for it. And all I need to do is put it onto paper. And then you realize that it doesn't work like
that. Like, wait a minute.
Hyper Wizard is asking a question. Does the background effect use some custom brushes? Yeah, it's a cross hatching brush, and I just layered it in darker and darker, then cut out around the figure. But yeah.
Someone asked if I use mushroom ink. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it.
Maybe they want to know if you use chain brushes.
I saw
I did see
one
some
where
chain brush action.
somebody had one where like they were doing a DC character, and they had like a diamond pattern brush, but they're like they just literally applied it all over a character that was wearing like pantyhose. I don't remember what the character was, but it was like a pro, and they're like, "Oh, I call this like the wasp brush," or whoever the female character was. It was hilarious though, because it fit it perfect without them manipulating it or anything. Like, some of the brushes are really, really cool time savers.
I'm gonna have to grab me some brushes when I start actually painting these things. But I tend to not actually like using lots of brushes. It's not really my
Yeah,
thing.
if you get a brush pack, you'll probably find like 3 or 4 you like.
Yeah.
And then have thousands that you just got to offload.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I use 3 brushes for everything.
Me too. I've got a main inking brush, and then
mine are chain brush, fire brush, and fence. I like the fence brush.
I've got
the whole.
I got
comic.
building. I got building brush.
Yeah.
Character brush and
perspective
story brush, panel brush.
Oh yeah.
Wave brush. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to do everything traditionally, then I broke my printer. It had some kind of an error on it, so kind of doing the digital stuff now. It's like I wanted to have originals of everything, but not really a way to do that at the moment. So just doing everything digital. I had everything scanned in already, luckily, to send for feedback, so it's going. D says trace brush.
Ooh.
Trace brush. Yeah, I'm working with some developers to get that going, but it's proving hard. Still have to trace the old-fashioned way, unfortunately, for now. but we're getting there.
Oh, Snarticon DM says, Zod, who is this imbecile? Bring him to me.
Yes, imbecile. Yes, who is this imbecile? Yes, bring him to me.
Friends with Scissors says Jim Lee brush. That would be awesome.
I've been studying a lot of Jim Lee stuff lately. He really is like kind of an amazing, like, you know, everyone wants to say is like his drawings are good. That's true, but his inking is on point.
I don't know, I've kind of been looking at older artists lately more than anything, like, because all of my favorites from growing up, like their works seems more dated now, you know, like the 90s stuff. It's like so over the top 90s, like there isn't really a lot to learn from any of it now. But I saw like I have one book that I look at all the time, and in a Facebook group I'm in of like Dale Keown art, they posted a bunch of like rough pencils Dale did in like 1991, 92 from a book called Nth Man. But the European graphic novel that I've been looking at, like literally ripped off whole panels, like identical from Dale Keown's early work. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. There's literally no difference.
How do you like my gargoyle head?
All right, let's have a look. Oh yeah, very dynamic.
Set your light source.
Batman, get the holy gargoyle. Batman.
I like these lines here, pulling into the darkness. I think that looks quite sharp. Oh. I got to figure out how I'm going to do this cape.
All right, well, you do that. I'm drawing the city of Uruk.
Here's the story. Okay. Come on, kids. Let's learn about history.
You will learn to love.
You will learn to love what I love.
I had Matt Krotz on the other night. He loves history like I do.
I love history.
I love history. I love democracy.
We got 70 more hail salads out today.
Nice.
Happy about
Is
that.
that sort of is that a good pace?
Yeah. Because we only have 120 left.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
how many all up? How many packages all up?
Well, let's see here. Probably at this point about 480, maybe 470. I would say about have been shipped out. I sent Choke out his. Sent who else? I was about to send Patrick his, but I stopped because I was like, well, I know he moved, so I just want to make sure I have the right address. I sent Narwhal his.
Probably not. Yeah, he's probably not worrying about books right now anyway.
I sent Piper hers. Yeah, that was funny. You know, Nate Callis bought one, and so I'm reading it, and I'm like, Nate Callis, and the first thing that popped in my head was Nate Callis for $5, because he always seems to catch $5. So I wrote that in the memo. Nate Callis for $5. What's up, bro?
So now it looks like the chat sees you're drawing refrigerators.
I'm not drawing refrigerators. Where are you seeing refrigerators?
Snarticon DM says, I love refrigerators. Awesome One says, I love Fergsters too.
Outrageous. It'd be cool to get a bit crazy with this. Put a Put a ziggurat back here at the top to remember how they're sort of like this, I think.
Let's see here, where was I? Wow, it got quiet.
Did it?
Emma
Doesn't matter.
Louise. Oh, KSS says Skip doesn't know the I Love Refrigerators clip. Yeah, I didn't know there was one.
Emma Louise says, looks like a castle. Yeah, I'm just sort of like, whoa, what's doing that? Sort of mixing random what was it? Anyone in the chat? Uruk. Is that like, I should Google this.
KSS probably knows. He said it looks like the city of Uruk.
Yeah.
A few comments up.
Well, I've got it. I mean, where's my Gilgamesh book? Where's my Gilgamesh book? Here it is.
Bring me my Gilgamesh.
It's under the tracing paper. Got him.
All right, let me go full. Yeah, so there you've got the I think that's called the Gate of Ishtar or something like that. On the front. But if you scroll in, look, he's like sitting at the top of a high tower looking down upon his people. That's Gilgi right there.
It looks like you drew it, actually.
Like I drew it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are the guys that I'm trying to emulate a little bit. This sort of style. They do way more panels than Americans do. But look, there's Enkidu.
Enkidu?
Enkidu, good old Enkidu. Yeah, in myth, he's much more of a beast man. He has horns and everything. But that's sort of like that's why I want to do it. So I will do an Enkidu card. I'm touching his wang now. I didn't notice. I will do an Enkidu card where he's like this, how he's traditionally portrayed. And then on the back, I'll tell his little story, and then I'll say, how he fits into the Lucent. Because in the Lucent, I've changed things to be more realistic. Like, what would it like? Why would it have been told that there was a beast man with horns? Or maybe just because he was like, he acted like a bull and he was really beast-like. He didn't actually have horns. And that sort of, but over the years, the legend grew, and that's why things get exaggerated. That's sort of like what I'm thinking with this stuff. Good old Enkidu. Too bad Mo isn't here to hear me talk about Enkidu.
Does she love it?
His favorite. No, Mo.
Oh.
Mo Biggs. Or Rob. Touching his winky do, says SDA. Ishtar to Ashtoret to Astorath. That's how the deity evolved into European myth. Says Val Schnitzel. See, we have a lot of very well-educated, interested people in the chat here.
Oh, yeah.
And it was right. I'm not going to bog down the story with exposition. It's like, if you don't know who Utnapishtim is, I'm not going to explain it to you in the book. If you don't know, you don't know. He's just another guy. That's fine. But you know, I want to give people the option to find out. All right, enough of that. Let's go back to Batman, I reckon. See what Camel's doing.
Just trying to clean this face up here.
Okay, says Bancroft will be drawing the city of Shigama next. The sacred city of Shigama in the land of stank. Liam asked, did you see the lore page I sent you? Let me have a look. You're sending me stuff. I may have. If it's new. Yeah, I just sent it.
Did you ever see the video I sent you today? Did that open for you?
Yeah, I did, but you can't share. I don't know how to get that off because you sent it through DMs.
Oh, you want me to email it to you?
Yeah, that would be better because then I could actually pull it up and put it on the thing. I think Shane though has already shared it, so it's like it's.
Oh,
out.
did he?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. It's sort of his joke now. This looks like a lore page from Kakashi Murder Dolls. I think that's Liam's book. And yeah, there's some dope art there. That freaking raven in the middle. Very nice. Yeah, all this stuff. I mean, I get there's Admiral Wackass in the chat. He hates my interviews that I had at the end of Waking Dream. Hates them. He likes the book, but he hates the extra stuff. But I always think of it as kind of a bit like what you got in The Watchmen. You know, they have those articles and stuff. Like, you don't have to read it if you don't want to. I think, especially with a book like The Lucid, you get more info.
I didn't like them. I was not a fan. But you know what? I didn't read them. You know,
I didn't read them either because I didn't.
Oh no, I meant your interviews.
Oh yeah, that a lot of people are exactly the same.
It just wasn't for me. I started it. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's okay, you know. But and then I was like, you know what it was? Yeah, I think you would enjoy them more if you read them at a separate time. If you read them directly after your break and you're done with the comic, it's almost like you're in a certain mindset, and now you have to like rearrange where your head is. So I would suggest reading them like a couple days later, instead of right after you finish the comic. That's just my thought.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you do something like that, you know it's not going to be like, oh my god, this is going to set the world on fire. But I still wanted to do them, and you know, try something a little bit odd, a little bit out there. And yeah, I'm happy that I did it. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next book because some people really liked them, like they really liked them, which was surprising me. I didn't think that would happen. But the thing when you do them is it has to be a kind of take it or leave it proposition. It's like you can't it can't be a thing where you have to have read them to understand the story. It's not something you can do. But I've got some ideas percolating for something similar-ish, but not quite the same. Like, don't do the same gag again. Awesome One wants to know how my leg drawer is going. Well, I moved on from the leg drawing. Awesome One. Camel's got his big, beefy Batman legs. I'm doing Uruk. Although I still have... There's the leg drawing there. The leg drawing and the other drawing, and now this drawing. They're not all going to be big landscape shots, by the way. That's just sort of, I don't know, what I feel like doing at the moment.
Have you ever drawn Batman,
I think I have. I think I had like when I was about 10. I think I drew Batman.
Do you even Batman, bro?
No, I don't really Batman. I don't. I Ninja Turtled a lot.
Yeah.
But I didn't really Batman. It was just not really my thing. I mean, growing up, Batman to me was Adam West. That's Batman.
What?
And I remember
Blasphemy.
I remember I'm talking very young. I'm not talking about post 89. I remember a Batman comic, and it was so different to that. It was dark and weird, and I was like, this is not for me at all. It probably soured me on DC Comics forever.
Oh yeah.
And then 89 came out, and I was Batman fanatic, but I wasn't really a Batman fanatic. I was a Michael Keaton movie Batman fanatic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. But if you had asked me, I'd be like, I'll take the Turtles over Batman. Sorry.
Yeah, it was always Ninja Turtles, and then the X-Men '92 cartoon for me. That one was huge.
Yes. Yeah, Liam's like, Adam West defined Batman for a long time. Like, that's what Batman was. I love the Simpsons parody of that.
I never watched the Adam West Batman until after the Michael Keaton did, and it just seemed campy just because he fought crime during the daytime every episode. Like nothing was filmed at night, that entire series. Like he was never in the dark. It's the weirdest.
Well, but also as well, even in the daytime in Tim Burton's Batman, it looked like nighttime.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
and that
like
always
the polar opposite. Like, could you imagine
really
Michael Keaton
well with me?
Like, picture Michael Keaton going into a bar though to find Catwoman, and then talking about the vitamin values of orange juice, like the stuff Adam West did, and it was so stupid. Like, we rewatched it when the box set came out, and like me and my son are sitting on the couch. He's like, "Dad, can I go to my room?" Like, you didn't want to watch anything else. You just wanted to leave.
Even in Superman, one of those Superman movies, not the Christopher Reeves one. In some of those Superman movies, even they had daytime scenes, but they were kind of a bit more noir. So they would put them inside. They would set them inside with really like harsh sunlight kind of coming into where no one has a light on, sort of thing. So you get these like lots of shadows and stuff like that. I don't. It's not really my thing. Jasper says, I love Mike's draw streams. Thank you, Jasper. This is the city of Uruk from who is that? Is it what kingdom was Uruk from? It was like Mesopotamia. It's Gilgamesh's city.
I'm sure it'll be on the back of the trading card for everyone.
It'll be on the back. I'll thoroughly do my research by the time we get around. Riveting stuff. Yeah, it's very important to know your Sumerians from your Babylonians, from your Assyrians and Canaanites, and
you sound like Egon Spangler. Sumerians. No,
thank you. I love Jasper gets my draw streams. Mike shows us that anyone can do this. Yeah, I've never done what I'm doing right now. I've never done this before. I just thought, why the hell not? I'm going to do it in front of 90 people on YouTube and however many people we got watching on Rumble. Where is my Rumble? I've got so many tabs open. I'm neglecting my Rumblers. Holy crap, we got 16 people watching on Rumble.
Oh.
And Arctos, who was the person I couldn't, and Nola Arctos, I apologize. Arctos is Latin for bear. It's Butterbear. Oh, over on the side too. The null is to tie in with my brother's gamer tag. Can't change names on Rumble without making you account. I hear you. 17 watching now. Thank you so much. If anyone hasn't subscribed to my Rumble, I'll put the link in there. Yeah, the thing about Rumble is, so the people who are doing well over there, they don't have the subscriber numbers, so they don't get the numbers when you see their streams after aren't the same as what they get on YouTube. You get a lot of secondary watches on YouTube, but the numbers in these live streams are insane. Like Salty will have 9,000 on YouTube, but 28,000 on Rumble. But then he'll get more views on the YouTube video. Jasper, yeah, Rumble is a developing site. Let's just put it like that. It's not the best interface. It's in fact, it's pretty backwards, but hopefully they sort it out. Sumo says, not the first time Bancroft has uttered the words, I've never done this in front of people before. KSS, nearly 100 watching on YouTube. Bancroft is excited about the 17 people on Rumble. I see how it is. No, I'm excited to see it grow. I mean, when I started it, I was like, if we get 3 or 4 people watching over there, that's 3 times as many people who watch on Twitch. So to have 17 over there is awesome. Yeah, Salty is killing it, Geronimo. I really enjoy his chance. I know it's not for everyone, but you know, I don't think Rumble fakes the numbers checkpoint. I mean, maybe I don't know. Like, you see the energy in those streams he does. He's getting like people are sending super chats like it's raining. $100 super chats like it's raining. But D's right. It does need a lot of work.
I gotta get in that business.
Like I told you, like how do you get the super chats rolling in? You got to start ranting. I'm telling you, you got to start you got to get on a soapbox and start ranting. It's not really my thing. It's not.
Yeah, mine neither.
It would be so fake if I did it. You know, I can rant, I guess, if I'm really passionate about something, but
you don't get angry.
Not like those
so the
guys
rant
do.
would come
No,
off
I don't.
disingenuous.
Yeah, exactly. It would be. It'd be like, oh, look, here's Bancroft trying to stir up people for super chats.
Yeah,
it's not really my thing. Yeah, you gotta have a take. I at least have takes. I've learnt that to get people interested in your channel, you gotta have a take. That's true. But I think to really inspire super chats, I think you got to be a bit forward and energetic and kind of angry about things. It's not my bag, baby. Like, I was watching a guy Drink with Crazy. He's got a new channel. He's only got like, I don't know, 1,000 subs or something. And yeah, he was getting super chats left, right, and center. But he's talking about pop culture and this and that, and but he's really let's get angry together sort of thing. And yeah, they were rolling in. I was like, I see what's going on here. You know, Ethan gets a lot of super chats. Salty obviously gets tons. I'm sure the Nerdrotic and the Geeks and Gamer guys get tons as well. Perth says your Kenobi rant review was a nice rant. Yeah, you can rant, Camel. You can rant. You have to be passionate about it, though.
I don't remember getting any super chats for that, though. So
yeah, Camel don't rant for free.
Yeah. This rant has a price, bro.
Yeah. How are your streams going, Skip, in terms of viewership?
Oh, not too bad. I haven't really even been sharing them out. I'm just kind of getting my feet wet again. Just trying to get comfortable with it. I'm just doing the drawstream format instead of trying to get people on.
Yeah.
But it's after work. I work 12-hour days, so it's kind of just inking to relax and unwind anymore. So, and stay productive. So it's going good. Like I don't know how you've done so many shows in such a short amount of time. Like I get burnt out from it quickly. Like just people canceling and things like that.
Well, if someone cancels on me, which doesn't happen very often, thankfully, I'll just go it alone. It's fine. I did that the other day, and the guy canceled. He had a perfectly legitimate reason for canceling. It wasn't anything weird. It was just all right. Well, I guess
He was on fire.
I set him on fire. I went on by myself. I actually had a good show. Had like 160 people in there, so it was fine.
Oh wow.
I always say, like, if you're gonna YouTube and you want to do it regularly, just figure out a way that you enjoy it and do that. Because if you're pushing a boulder uphill and you're not enjoying it, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
like, that's just like, if you're sitting there dreading going online, like, oh, I've got to stream again today. You're not gonna last. So whatever you do, just figure out a format that works for you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you guys have gone through this too, though. You get feedback from the chat, and then you get your DMs from other people and things like that. But a lot of things that I tried on my channel, like people would complain about, like, oh man, this sucked, or don't have this guy on, he never fixes his mic. That's why I was DMing you earlier, like, yeah, I'd love to come on. Let me figure out if the sound's okay before you're live, because I know how big a deal that is, to the chat. So, but yeah, it seems to go be going well for something that, like, I genuinely want to be doing, instead of just catering to an audience where it's just kind of like you're just miserable. Like, it's not like the position you want to put yourself in. So
What we're doing mustaches now?
yeah,
No one puts as much detail in their mustaches as you. How are you going with the zoom in, Skip? I remember that was an issue with you.
oh, I'm good now. I get yelled at by Rich, so
Yeah,
like,
I have a cap. I put a hard cap on my zoom in, and it's like, if I can't see it from the distance that I'm at, which is it's that's not for everyone, because there's different DPIs and file settings and stuff like that. So for me, it's 50%. If I can't see it at 50%, it's not going to print. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I know. I get it's a hard thing to shake.
yeah,
We are at.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Were you gonna say?
Go ahead. You could.
I was just gonna say we're at 2 hours and 17 minutes. So I think I'm gonna end it here. I am gonna. But before I do, I'm going to share. Where is it? Oh God, come on. Let's get here. Work it out. Preview. All right, let's preview the campaign. Why not? Why not? All right. Now, if you're watching these draw streams and you haven't seen anything that I actually like as a finished piece of art, I can do it. It just takes me a long time to get around to it. This is what I've got on the campaign so far. This obviously it's not live yet. Working through it. This is for Painted Death. It's available to sign up to. The link will be in the description. I liked listening to Pete Samedi today saying, I like it when people have text. You have text on your campaign, Camel. So you can get a little sense of what it's going to look like with the lettering, how it's going to read, stuff like that. Because you need to let people know what sort of story I reckon they're going to be getting into. But there's some finished pages from me from Painted Death. There's my Drawtism on full display. Do sign up. We'll be going live next year, but I'm still taking signups and all that kind of stuff. Also, sign up for Sleight of Hand. That's what Skip has been working on. What's the name of your channel, Skip?
It's just Skip Edwards Art.
Skip Edwards Art.
Yeah, it's been dropped in the chat. So thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you, Jasper and SDA, for recommending that Pete Samedi stream. I did go and watch it, and you're right. It was a really good conversation. Snarkticon says about 2 hours too long. Now you calm down there, Snarkticon. And also, if you haven't, go back Camel Knights, Boots and Heels, or even if you have. I mean,
Yeah, back it
what do
again.
they say? What does Malin say? Back twice, back often, back it again. Get in. Whoa. It comes with the Camel Moon seal of quality. It comes with awesome Camel Knights gear. It comes with stretch goals. Now with stretch goals. And unlocked and locked. How are the platinums going, by the way?
It was a
10 out of
really
15
terrible
points.
idea. I'm really upset that I put it up there. So
if you want to prove Rob wrong,
if there's a reason to get up in the morning, that's it.
Yeah, platinum sets.
Yeah, they're going great. We have only 5
that's
left.
a terrible idea. Excellent.
Snarticon DM says golf carts don't fund themselves, people.
They don't. They really don't. You've got to get up there. You never receive anything that you don't ask for. So.
And I finished the Batman black and white piece.
Batman. That looks great. Look at that. Signed it and everything.
People are like,
see, I would never be able to draw that in 2 hours on a stream. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not that guy. Let's have a look at Skip's page where he's up to. It's looking great.
We're waiting to save. So
Mel really loves your style, by the way. I just want to point out.
I like it.
She really digs this style that you've landed on. And I agree. It's very distinctive, and it looks like it's a real good fit for what I think your book is about.
Awesome, thanks.
But now that we've looked at some cool art, let's finish on some dodgy sketches of do you remember the name of this city, Camel?
Oh yeah, Kookly Moogly or something.
Kookly Moogly in the Googlelook Empire. There you go. So, and these might all be trading cards on the campaign. We'll see. Well, not the sketches, obviously. They'll be proper good concept art if I can pull it off. This is the first step. Is me having some sketches. These are the 7 sages sailing through the lands, the fjords. I don't think they have fjords down there, but whatever. It's fantasy, okay? And there's some like proto-Semitic people with their camels camping on some cliffs in, I'm going to say, the Levant, many thousands of years ago. And that one's for the old lamb. So, yeah, I can do stuff too. All right. And as Jasper says, if Bancroft can do it, anyone can. That is it for me. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us on another draw stream. We do this every week at this time, but you never quite know what we'll be working on. Jasper says, please make a trading card set of the finished stream sketches. Mine? I wouldn't put you guys through that. And plus, trading cards cost money. I'm learning, so I don't know if I want to do that. But I do want to thank you all for hanging out. You are, as always, the most amazing, incredible, spectacular, always phenomenal, sexiest chat in CG. I will see you tomorrow for a video, and I'll see you on Camel's video game stream in a few days' time. Until then, have a great night. Bye.
Great night.
Thanks for having me.
Individually, we are weak, like a single twig, but as a bundle, we form a mighty